So before we get into this, I'm gonna drop some timestamps right around here so you can skip to the part that you care about. So first, let's answer a pretty basic question. Who should buy these? First, commuters. These have transparency features that let you hear what's going on around you, which is pretty useful. Second, they're not a bad choice for anyone who wants a discreet pair of earbuds, so you don't look like Rudy Giuliani wearing AirPods. The design is pretty simple, so if you want to keep it low-key, these are for you. And now let's get into the review, because if you don't fall into either of those categories, these are pretty hard to recommend. B&O is known for their emphasis on design, but I'm a little disappointed with the Beoplay E8 earbuds themselves. The charging case is fine, with a leather exterior and a somewhat flattened pill shape that won't make it look like you're carrying a giant Tic Tac in your pocket, unlike the Samsung Gear Icon X case. It's the attention to the little details like this that make them great at design, and at first I was really impressed. But then I opened the case. The logo to earbud ratio here is ridiculous. The entire outer edge of the earbud is basically the logo. Now you're probably thinking, Adam, relax, it isn't that big a deal. And you're right, it isn't. But it's a pet peeve of mine when I have to pay a crazy amount of money on a product and then spend the rest of my days as a walking advertisement. I don't even get paid commission. Logo rant aside, the earbuds have a pretty simple design and are made entirely of plastic, which makes them really lightweight. The right and left earbuds weigh only 7 grams and 6 grams respectively. The right is a gram heavier because it's the master earbud, while the left is the slave. So the signal first goes from the phone to the master earbud and then relayed to the slave. They're also a little more square than some of the other truly wireless earbuds I've tried, which results in an aesthetically pleasing design that unfortunately just doesn't fit in my ear that well. The buds don't fall out, they actually stay in pretty nicely. The problem is that it doesn't take long for them to become uncomfortable. It's not painful, just annoying. B&O also claims that these are water resistant, but they don't mention sweat, so if you're looking for a pair of earbuds for the gym, you might want to look elsewhere. To pair, all you have to do is hold down the touchpad on the earbuds to enter pairing mode, and watch the Beoplay E8 name pop up in the Bluetooth settings on your phone. What isn't as smooth was the B&O app. They had a hard time finding the earbuds even when they were already paired to the phone. Once they do connect, you'll get access to some extra features like EQ presets and something that B&O calls transparency, which is basically the opposite of active noise cancellation. Instead of using the tiny built-in microphones to cancel outside noise, they actually let noise in, letting you hear what's going on around you. Now, as nifty as that feature is, I did have some other connectivity issues. The main one being that when you open up the case and take out the earbuds, they don't auto-connect to your phone, like pretty much every other true wireless earbuds do. The only way I was able to get these to reconnect every time was by going into Bluetooth settings and tapping on Beoplay E8. For the price, this is completely unacceptable. On the bright side, they do automatically disconnect when you put them back in the case. I also read that a lot of people online were having issues with dropouts and stutters, but I never had any of these problems. Only when intentionally testing the limits of his range did music falter and skip. Unfortunately, if you're going to be watching a lot of videos with these, you might want to pick another pair of earbuds, because these have the worst delay I've encountered on any pair of true wireless earbuds. The audio seemed to come a full second or two after the video. But to complete my good, bad, good sandwich, let's talk about the playback controls, because though they are a little complicated at first, they work perfectly. The right and left earbuds share some controls and differ in others, but once you memorize the correct amount of taps and holds, the touch-sensitive earbuds are easy to control. Another positive to these earbuds is the battery life. B&O claims a solid 4 hours of constant playback, but in our testing, we got more like 4.45 hours, making it one of the best batteries in any of the true wireless earbuds that we've tested. If you have a long commute, these have your back, and then once you're done, you can just pop them back in the case. The charging case will give you an extra 2 charges until it needs to be recharged via micro USB, unfortunately. But make sure that you put the earbuds back in the right way, because even if they're not correctly in place, you can still close the case. Then you'll end up like me, opening the case the next day only to find that one earbud didn't properly charge. In the B&O app, you can tweak the way your music sounds via this screen that lets you drag a ball around between 4 different options. There's warm, excited, relaxed, and bright. Very descriptive, I know. But what's a little more helpful is that if you go into the presets, you can choose between commute, clear, workout, or podcasts. A little more practical. For the purposes of this review, I kept everything off, so I was listening to them the way that they sound fresh out the box. On the downside, the Beoplay E8 earbuds don't have higher quality streaming codecs like aptX or obviously LDAC, which is Sony, but they do have AAC, so if you have an iOS device or a fairly new Android device, at least you'll be able to use that instead of SBC. If none of that made sense to you, make sure to click the codec explainer piece we did down in the description. At first, the low end seemed to be a little too weak for my liking, but the more I listened, the more I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, it didn't do justice to the sub bass in the song Summertime Magic by Childish Gambino, but the alternative for earbuds this small is an artificially exaggerated low end that ends up masking more important notes in the mids, like vocals. Though the lower notes weren't strong, they're still clearly audible. But where the low end manages to scrape by without sounding fake, some vocals end up sounding like you're listening to them from behind a stage curtain. It's not exactly muffled, but you don't get some of the detail that makes the vocal performances great. For example, during the chorus of the song Gimme All Your Love by Alabama Shakes, which is about a minute and 5 seconds into the song, Brittany Howard chuckles darkly in the background, and I completely missed it on my first listen because of everything else going on. I had to rewind the track and give it another go. That said, I found that the high end in these earbuds are surprisingly good, considering the 5.7mm drivers making all the sound. Throughout the song Katie Queen of Tennessee by the Apache Relay, there's plenty of cymbal play throughout, and though you can hear it, they don't exactly sound like they're providing a sense of space. They're easy to hear, which is good, but soundstage is definitely lacking. So when it comes down to it, the main question is, are the B&O Beoplay E8 headphones worth the price tag when there are cheaper options available? For most people, probably not. E8 sound really good considering they are true wireless earbuds, and they do have some really practical transparency features for commuters or anyone in an office setting, but they're held back by their uncomfortable design and by not auto-connecting, which is really annoying. Not to mention that for something that costs as much as these do, I want true sweat resistance, not just water and rain. For the price, I should be able to use these wherever I want, but instead they're limited to a few use cases. Plus, as much as I like these, if I'm being real, they're not the best in any one category. The Jabra Elite 65Ts beat them in battery life, the Samsung Gear Icon X have better features, and the AirPods beat them in connectivity. Are the Beoplay E8 earbuds good? Sure, but that still shouldn't justify a purchase. And that should do it for our review of the Beoplay E8 headphones. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about these earbuds or compare them to any of the other true wireless earbuds on the market, we have a full true wireless earbuds list over at SoundGuys.com. I'll link that in the description. Either way, while you're here, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and hit that like button while you're there, along with the notification bell so you'll be the first to know every time we upload a video. I'm Adam Molina. Happy listening.